Okay, we have 4 so far. We just need one more person to show up for the committee.
Okay,
Yes.
Okay, I'm going to put on the YouTube for now. So you guys are on YouTube. We'll wait one more minute for the rest of the people coming in on.
Who's missing?
One more person.
Dennis, Joe, Carese.
Elena,
Hi, Elena.
welcome.
Mama.
Hello.
Hello.
Hi, everybody.
Just wait. Who else? Joe, Michael Quinn,
Michael Quinn.
and who else? Fran
Fran
Kevin.
is not coming.
All right.
So Joe, Michael Quinn, Dennis.
So either Dennis, Joe, or Michael have to show up to have a quorum, unless Lucy.
Lucy pops in. Okay.
So if we need her,
Well, you can text her and just let her know.
Yeah.
if there comes a vote. But
Samira could also be on the
Lucy said she might not be able to attend, she said.
hmm,
Samira
She
can
was-
attend, and there'll be a quorum.
okay.
No.
All right. So
Well, we don't, if we don't have to vote on stuff,
Yeah.
we could start the meeting.
okay.
So Miss Susan, it's up to you.
If it's good for with both of you.
Okay, good evening, everyone. I guess we're going to start
Oh wait.
with the, what was that, Eddie?
I'm just gonna put you on. That's it. Go for it now.
Okay, I want to be recorded for perpetuity. Okay.
And for
Um,
what else?
Yeah, well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to our meeting. We're going to be discussing, among other things, the budget needs for fiscal 24. Is that it, Eddie?
Yep, it sure is.
For the Department of Parks and Recreation. And is there another committee here?
Nope, it's just you guys.
Oh,
and,
just parks. Okay.
It's special. It's special.
So I'm gonna turn it over to Eddie because he's the master of the document.
Oh wow. I
And
don't
we're
know
gonna
about
look
that.
at all the capital and expense needs that are on our wish list.
Yep. Okay. So what I'm going to do is share the screen so that you guys can see what I'm seeing, and hopefully it's a mess, of course. Here. And as you can see, this year we have the 2024. This is what you're seeing now is from 2023 request. In there was our how do you say, our wish list at that time, and we did not get the majority of them set. There are some things that we requested that were done, but we'll get to those points as we go through the page. But as you can see, it usually goes through priority, and our first priority happens to be the boardwalk. It's our request that we have been having for the longest time. As you see, it just says rehabilitation of the Regaman Boardwalk in Konyana and Brighton Beach. The boardwalk has been falling apart and needs more maintenance to prevent any accidents from happening. Also, there needs to be some type of solution to get rid of the heavy equipment that are not needed on the boardwalk. So of course, the response was OMB supports the agency's position as follows. The request is partially funded, and then it says contact the Parks Department. So as we've done in the past, we're going to leave this as number one because we do feel.
Excuse me, Eddie, isn't it true they don't consider the numbers anymore?
They
And there
always
isn't-
do the top three. So guess
Okay.
what? This is one of the top three. So so we're leaving it here because I think we've been fighting it and we don't want this to get lost. And for something like this, the boardwalk means a lot to the neighbors and to the residents and business. So so is there any discussion?
Excuse me, Eddie.
Yes.
is anyone here disagree with this? Because I
yes.
can't see anyone disagreeing. Please, if you do, speak up now,
Yes. Or
because this
discussion.
is something so physically
Yeah. Mhm.
necessary that I can't even begin to tell you.
Sure.
So if anyone says objects, tell me now, tell Sue now.
Yes. And I think something like this needs to be addressed all the time, because just because we don't get funding for it this year doesn't mean that it's not a need for this item. And remember, just to give a point of reference, this is for the wish list of 2024. So that means it's going to be 2 years from now. If there's a problem on the boardwalk or in the parks, people should call the office directly and not wait 2 years. Okay, because this is 2 years of capital projects and expense projects. So people have to realize what we're doing is something bigger than just a broken light in the park or the sprinkler system is not working. So those can be remedied quicker if you call the office. The board office, you know, is 266-3001, and we're there 9 to 5 Monday through Friday. Okay.
And how do
then-
we remedy the fact that the big trucks are still on the boardwalk?
like I said, we wrote it on here too. So it says it here. We're trying to find a solution for the heavy vehicles not needed on the boardwalk. Like I said, we can't figure it out because we don't have the technology yet to figure out what kind of light vehicles are needed. So
Oh, yes, we do. And they know it and they just.
like I
don't do
said,
it.
this is a wish list. Okay, so whatever we have here is going to be used for the future. So if there's something that they have now, we could always request that now. But but this is in 2024. So we have I'm not sure who's the phone number, 347. Is that Fanya?
That's me. That's me. Yes. Hi. I just joined.
Hannah, can you change the name? Thank you.
Fanya Vasilevsky.
Okay, go ahead.
Excuse me. Hi everyone. I just joined the meeting and I understand that we're talking about the boardwalk.
Yes.
And this is not only very important, it is very painful because I live next to this boardwalk and we are walking every day. And I have in my family people who hardly walk, and they got hurt because of this problem with the nails sticking out, very unstable pieces of wood.
Yes.
And I see a lot of people who it's just very dangerous. And I don't know what.
Fanya, you
Yes.
should know that we have kept, how long have we had this on number one?
Forever.
That we are in 100% agreement with you, 100%. That's why we keep it number one. It's a horrible thing. People are constantly hurt. One of my friends is completely, don't even ask, because she fell on the boardwalk.
Yeah.
She cannot walk. She will never walk. She cannot move her hand. She almost died twice, all from falling on this boardwalk. So we agree 100% with you.
And meanwhile, Barbara, nothing's getting done. Okay?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Okay,
I don't know, but somebody's got to get them to move and do something.
Okay.
You
but-
can't keep
all right.
saying they're a city agency. You got to
Okay.
treat them nicely.
Okay, but
That's
this is the budget
baloney.
right now, so we're requesting money for this.
okay.
Excuse me, at the end of the meeting, if you want to compose a letter and we just send it and by approval of the board, the whole board, I'm all for that. Okay, Joe? Because we all agree this is a serious, dangerous issue. And I know personally, a friend of mine is very injured.
Mhm.
So believe me, I know.
Yeah, I see it all the time.
Yeah. Okay,
Hi, Dennis.
Hi, guys.
Can I
I
say
give
something?
I give first aid at least once a week for boardwalk injuries.
oh, okay, Fanya first, and then go back to Yelena.
I don't think there is any more important than this one. And the city has to find the funding. We can't wait till 24. What we're gonna do, 2 years not to use the boardwalk? We're paying taxes, all of us. We really have to do something about it. We write a letter and we have to push and follow up with this letter.
Okay,
For God's sake, community board, we
Yes.
really have to speak out about this.
Okay, all right, Yelena, did you want to say something before I go to
Yeah,
Mike?
just few words. Good evening, everybody. Whoever I did not say good evening to. Uh, you know, if anybody can correct me that I'm wrong, but I strongly believe that I'm right. For last 8 or 10 years, we are being told that park department does not have funds to hire extra carpenter. I don't know if city can find millions for whatever projects. I'm not sure that they cannot find $10, $20, $30,000 during before the season to fix the boardwalk. So it seems to me today that everything was neglected for one and only reason, because it's gonna give way to cement the boardwalk, which is no good. Because even some of our local elected officials, when it comes to boardwalk, they said, we care about safety. We care about safety. So I strongly agree with Jan Weiss that we keep talking, and we can send as many letters as possible, but something should be done. I walk on boardwalk myself from Ocean Parkway to Aquarium, usually on Saturday, this last Saturday. Usually it takes 5 minutes. It took me 25 minutes to walk. And I saw vehicle. What kind of vehicle I saw? I saw SUV, park department, enforcement. I have no idea what they enforce, but why this kind of vehicle should be on boardwalk? They cannot walk?
Voters are worse than Al-Qaeda. Where do we end up?
Okay, all right.
So we can talk, and we transfer this item from year 2000, from 2009, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. This is our community, and we are taxpayers. And of course, city gonna settle each and every incident, but it's not gonna give people health back. It's not gonna give families joy, and on and on and on. This is the jewel of our district, not only our district, our city. And everything is deliberately done, neglected, in order to put cement and plastic. This is my opinion. Thank you very much.
Okay.
But Yelena, we all want to do something. We write a letter. We are only advisory. Give me something else to do, and Susan and I will be happy to bring it to everybody. We're doing, you know how long I've been here that we've been going on with this thing? And we write letters, but I want to do something. I don't want to do anything. A letter is something. If you have another idea, tell us.
You know what?
Madam Chair, can I say something?
Wait. There's order here.
I can't see whose hand is up because we have this
We got
on the
Michael
screen.
first and then Jeff.
Okay, because I can't see. Michael, go ahead.
I'm gonna be in the negative here, and I don't want to be talking down, but it's time to upgrade the boardwalk. If we have to go concrete and plastic, that's my personal opinion. We need to build for tomorrow. We need to build for these new storms and everything they're talking about. They got to upgrade everything. I love the boardwalk. Of course, we had the place on the boardwalk the last season. I was on there almost every day, and the work needs to get done. But you're taking an antique car and trying to make a brand new car out of it. I understand it's nostalgic, but it costs a lot of money, and the city does not want to spend the money on the nostalgia. We need to go into the future. We need to build for the future. This is my own personal opinion. I may be in the negative here, but I believe we should always be moving forward, stepping up. This is what I try to teach my kids. You never move sideways. You got to move up. So we need to move to the next level. The next level will be concrete and plastic. You want to put wood in the middle of it. But look what happened last night. We had the tragedy of last night, and all you saw on the boardwalk was police vehicles, EMS, and it wasn't all the gators. It was the big cars, the heavy trucks. We need to build for the future. I'm sorry that, you're taking something nostalgic. We can do something nostalgic and keep it somehow, but we need to move on. This is my personal opinion.
Michael, I
Michael-
appreciate your opinion and I thank you for giving it. And who is next? Because I
Yeah,
can't
Jeff,
see.
Jeff.
Jeff, go ahead, Jeff.
Okay, before the concrete and plastic is put on the boardwalk, there should be a study, a stormwater study of surge, the water surge from the ocean, because during Sandy, okay, the area that I'm in, which has concrete, okay, had 15 feet of water in some of the buildings. But where you have the wood and the slats, the water dissipates into the sand. So before any project is done, and I'm talking to Michael too, there should be a study done by the Parks Department in the way the stormwater surge is conducted when it happens during a hurricane season, okay? Because we are all going to be underwater if this is done the wrong way. So I recommend to add into that, number one, the Parks Department does a study on the effects of stormwater surge
Okay,
on
Barbara,
plastic versus wood.
all right, Barbara Santonis, if you can put that one-liner in there too. We'll put
Can I
that-
just say something?
Yes, go ahead.
All right, you know what, I listened to all this and I've been around more years than I care to say. And I hear the same thing all over, you can't do this here and you can't do that here, but Long Beach Boardwalk gets wood and Rockaway Boardwalk gets wood. And you know what, maybe it's, I always said it, that's my statement in life, we're the wrong zip code. If we had a New York zip code or a Queens zip code or a Rockaway zip code, maybe we would get some attention, but and this is all the time. So I think this is, somewhere it has to stop.
Okay,
Somewhere it has to stop. And somebody has to be man enough to get up and say, this is enough of this bullshit.
okay,
That's-
all right, so.
1 minute, Eddie, 1 minute. So we need to see if anybody on this committee wants to add his study by the Parks Department effects of stormwater surge on water versus concrete, if it should be added.
Oh,
So we should take a vote on that. What do you
No,
think,
Concrete
Sue?
and plastic.
You don't need a vote for it. This is just more of the section that we put together because it's a draft. This part is a draft, and this will go before the board on the end of the month. so that-
Right, but I thought I would just
Oh,
like
no,
to,
but you know what, then why shouldn't it be in there so that it all goes before the board?
It will go before the
that's
board.
what we're asking now, Joe, exactly that. So is anyone objecting who
Yeah.
is on this committee to adding this? I need to hear from you now.
No,
No,
not object.
absolutely not.
Okay,
No,
so,
no, Barbara, just,
Yes,
I
dear.
I don't have any objections to it, but I think we have to keep an open mind because the wood right now is in terrible, and we all know how bad it is, and I think we need to keep an open mind in considering what other options we have, because like Michael said, we have to think future, we have to think resiliency, like Jeff said, but we also have to think these guys can't maintain what they have.
That's why the study then has to be done before anything is done. You just
But
don't
why
do a
should we
project.
have to
You don't do
reconsider
just a
when nobody
project to
else
do
in the
this.
city?
one at a
has to
time, one at a time, please. Go ahead.
You just don't do a project out of thin air. The Parks Department should do a study to see what the effects are on the stormwater surge, because we were all crippled during Hurricane Sandy, okay, with buildings, with people being flooded. I lost 2 cars, okay? It should be studied, and let's get the facts with the facts.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Jeff. But I think we should also keep an open mind for other types of construction that will be maintenance free or somewhat maintenance free because they
That will
can't
be
handle
all
what they
part of the
got.
study. That could be all part of the study.
Right.
Okay,
Okay.
right. We also have someone here from the Parks Department, Davey, and Jim. I don't know if you want to speak on this, but you know, just to shed some light on where some of the
Sure. Good evening, everybody. My name is Davey Ives. I'm the Chief of Staff for Operations in New York City Parks in Brooklyn. You might know my boss, Marty Marr. So sorry, Marty couldn't be on the call tonight. Yeah, I think a lot of important dialogue that's happening. I think we saw we've received some funding to redo portions of the boardwalk. There are a couple active capital projects right now. I think it's important to separate what's in a capital project long-term and then kind of what's done through expense money through on a maintenance front. We've kind of touched on both of those things in tonight's call. As far as I think it was $114 million for the boardwalk. I think that study has not started, that project has not started. And I think, you know, there will be, we don't really know what the first steps will be, but we're starting to figure that out internally, and it will definitely be areas for public input as that project moves forward.
I don't think you answered any of the questions.
Well,
we all know about the project. We all, I don't know. I've been through this maybe before you were born already.
Probably.
I'm pretty old.
Yeah, it's been happening for a long time. I'm sorry.
Okay, so what I'm saying is we need action.
Yeah.
People are really getting hurt. And I have a personal friend, and I could tell you her story, and you would not stop crying because she has no relief from the city of New York. So it is just something that we must get it done. I'm tired of waiting. We're all tired of waiting. So that's, Marty knows, he loves this place. We need some action. This is what I'd like you to bring back to him.
Yeah.
The study, the danger. He knows this. I know he does. So we want to bring it back to him to see what we could do together to get something more done.
Does anybody know how the boardwalk in Rockaway, where I think they built a section out of concrete. Does anybody know how that's holding up?
Jeff,
How is it, Joanne?
Jeff, do you know?
I don't know.
Oh,
Probably Ida knows. Let me get a hold of her.
Okay, Jeff, get back to us on the issue.
Dennis, I think it does. I mean, I don't want to state the Parks Department position, but it has held up and it's able to accommodate, you know, emergency vehicles and traffic, like stuff we saw in the early morning hours.
I mean, I've heard good things about it, and I really want to take a trip now that my now that the park is closed. But I've heard great things about that boardwalk in Rockaway, and I'd like to take a look at it.
You're gonna have to talk to him.
You know.
All right, I got the information over here.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. In Rockaway, after Sandy, all their beautiful new concrete slabs lifted up, okay, and they become battering rams, and they go into your building. In Staten Island, they have concrete sections, and they said they're all a mess there too. Okay, they do not hold up, and they become battering rams in a storm surge. Okay, and Parks is getting away with not doing an EIS because they're doing this as pilot studies. So if they just do one little piece at a time, okay, they say, oh, it's a pilot study, and they don't have to do any EISs here. Okay, and they're endangering every building and every business along this boardwalk. And we have pictures of the first building on West End Avenue after Sandy, a piece of the old concrete esplanade lifted up and poked a hole in the foundation of that building.
Ida, could you tell them what those letters mean in case there's someone who does not know?
What
About the
list?
environmental
Yeah,
study.
Environmental impact statement.
That's
Right.
EPS, EIS.
Okay,
Well, I wanted to add that study into the number one here.
Okay,
Plastic
they're
versus-
doing this here without any thought. The boardwalk is our first line of infrastructure. They're doing this without any thought to our public. The boardwalk is a wreck. We know it's a wreck. Okay, Long Beach, Long Island redid an entire boardwalk in wood in 1 year after Sandy. Other communities have done the same. Okay, here, but here the amusement area.
Dennis
only
is on.
area, okay, is a sacred cow. They will never have concrete. God forbid. They will have a beautiful, beautiful wooden boardwalk. Why are the rest of us second-class citizens?
Yeah, Ida,
And
darling,
this is a matter of safety, okay?
Ida,
Pictures,
Ida,
and I've
we-
showed everybody the pictures.
Ida, we don't want to make this them against us or a fight. We want to
No.
fix it
Hey,
everywhere.
Barbara, is your building, let me ask you something, Barbara. Is your building on top of the boardwalk? Mine is.
I
Okay,
understand.
That slab lifts up. It's not hitting Warbeck. It's hitting 201 Brighton First Road. It's hitting 50 Brighton First Road. It's hitting all the NYCHA buildings. It's
I
hitting
understand
all those
that.
buildings in Brighton.
Believe me, I understand. You know I do. But what I'm saying is, we want to keep it in just so that, in other words, we've all agreed, no one said against the environmental impact study. That we're going to add here. And people from Parks, please take it back, how important this study is for all of us. That's what
Okay,
we'd
you
like them
might
to
as
do.
well add in heat impacts, okay? Because concrete is well known for creating heat islands, and we're all supposed to be so concerned about global warming, okay? But concrete creates heat islands.
So therefore, people can use their air conditioners more.
Yeah.
There you go.
okay, all right. All right, so just moving along, we do have other items on the agenda for the Parks Department. We're going to leave this as number one with the inclusion part of the EIS with the wave action. Barbara sent Thomas will put it in tomorrow and let Jeff double check it tomorrow. That'll be fine. And we should go on to the next part. So everyone is agreed that this should be number one? All right,
Absolutely.
yes, all right.
Does
so-
anyone disagree? That would be easier. Does anyone disagree with this to be number one for our requirements
Okay.
that we're requesting?
No.
I don't see anybody saying.
Okay, because I can't see them. Good.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
All right.
That's good, Eddie. Now
All right,
we have an
so-
answer.
All right, so we're going to number two, all right, which is the second part of your guys is number 6. All right, we want to put a request to provide a new expansion to building a park. We put this in about 5 years ago, give or take, or 6 years ago, where we wanted to see if we can get a new recreational center in the community. This community center, of course, will be affordable. It will be intergenerational, multicultural, educational, natural conservatory, adult vocational training center, emergency center, greenhouse, boathouse, sport-related activity, indoor skating park rink, boxing ring, etc. This will be located behind Mark Twain Junior High School, which will wrap around to West 23rd Street to West 25th Street. This will include a parking space for the people using the ferry, if that was at that time.
Well, you can forget that.
Not what that was at that time, so we can't predict things for
No,
daily
you can
commute.
forget it.
That will we would like this to be model the recreational center like Ocean Breeze Complex in Staten Island. So we
First
can
of
cross
all-
out the ferry part because that part
You should.
that's fine. But then we're going to
is,
use this as what do you call it, as a part of using the recreational center that is used as a model in Ocean Breeze. If anyone's not familiar, it's a very big complex that's run by the Parks Department and is very well done. So
All right, and you're talking about the property behind Mark Twain, which
no,
part are
if you
talking about?
read it, it says there it's behind Mark Twain, West 23rd Street, West 25th Street.
I know where
the
you're
circle,
talking about. I
the
lived
circle,
for
and
50 years across the street.
and the pumping station. So it's a U shape. It's a U shape. So the whole section.
So
then
what you're saying is the pumping station,
the
that whole
behind
piece of property,
behind the at
is,
Mark Twain
the
Junior High
pumping
School
station is not behind Mark Twain. It's next.
and the behind the Mark Twain Junior High School and the side on West 25th Street. All of that is parkland. All right. The pumping station is of course owned by DCAS. But Parks Department helps out because it's a green thumb. Because it's a green thumb, Parks Department helps out. So we can see if that whole section there can be transformed into a recreational center. All right, that's a big ask. And of course, asking something like this is a big ask. And of course, the parks would say they have insufficient funds for this, but recommend to bring this to your elected official, the borough president, and the city council person.
Yeah, right, sure.
All right, but the reasoning behind this is because there were community centers were damaged during Sandy, and 5-6 years ago when there was no community centers around, it was a need, and because there's still some centers that are not running or senior centers that are not running, this is one item that was brought up. So something like this is a wish list. That's all it is, but it does cover all gambits of life, from intergenerational, multicultural to educational to a boathouse to a greenhouse, everything. And if
A boathouse in that dirty creek.
well, it has to get clean. So if you
sure.
if you don't clean it, if you don't use it, they're not going to clean it.
Uh-huh.
So the whole thing there is.
What are you smoking?
Yeah, well, the whole thing is if you don't ask, you don't get.
Yeah,
I'm smoking Parliament 100 right now, and I just have a question. You got to respond for how many years? I don't know. Talk to elected officials. Did we?
Talk to elected officials.
Did we? Did we talk to elected officials?
Each one of them. If you know a budget for a recreational center, it's $50 million. That's how much it costs. We found that out from the one in East New York that was recently put up about 2 years ago. And they said their budget was $50 million. That means that the city, which is city council, the mayor, the borough president, and the local agencies that will put money into it has to do it in phases. It cannot be done in one single year budget.
But they have to start somehow.
Agree. Yeah, all have to agree. Yes, and that's the whole thing. People have to agree because everybody wants to be on top, And DYDC, is the children. You got Department of Aging, which is senior center. You got the boathouse, which you can go with DEP. You have Parks Department with working with their land. So you have a lot of things here, but you can't say one group is going to really do it. But since the Parks Department is on their land, that's where we start first.
Okay, Eddie, I'm offering everybody just to check Schedule C. I believe everyone knows what it's all about, okay? And see how much money some council members or speakers fund, how much money was allocated to different programs. Believe me, if they want, they can find $50 million.
Sure.
And if they decide that they would like to really work together for this community, then we might have a chance.
You got it. All right. We have Lolita with her hand raised. Lolita.
I want to just ask maybe a rhetorical question, or although I'm not a member of this committee, my apologies, but I just keep on wondering because went through all the committees that request things, and year after year we're requesting things. Was it at any point, because there's a lot of people who's been on community board for a very long time, do you remember of any point that we requested something that was granted?
No.
Yes.
Yeah, what?
Yes. Parks being fixed, and they were fixed.
Wait a minute. It wasn't granted. It was just funded by local council members, period. And each and every other request says contact your council member. I remember when we had an executive board meeting for the entire proposal before COVID. And I personally asked, did you speak to Councilman Deutsch? Did you speak to Councilman Traeger? And on and on and on. So it was not requested because we requested. It was funded by elected officials. So if we are going back to community center, so what we have to do, we have to pressure our elected officials, period. Very easy.
Thank you. All right, Jeff?
Yes, if you remember, we had the sanitation environmental wish list.
Yeah.
We're still waiting for the
garage.
sanitation garage. It's only
Yeah.
been about 35, 40 years.
Yes.
And they couldn't come up with the
25 years it was on the schedule, the 26th year it disappeared.
Mhm.
I mean, so it's the agencies are I don't know where they're at.
You know, years ago when they were building that ice skating rink, my cousin, God rest his soul, was the architect. And he called me up that time and said, it's out the window that we don't have the money. The city lost the money. 2.5 years later, he called me back. He said, the strangest thing happened. I got a phone call today. All of a sudden, the money came back. Like puff, the magic dragon poured the money back.
Okay.
So,
All right. So, so the question here now is this okay to be here in this position or no? I mean, they haven't approved anything in the past year. So being up here is more
maybe if we came up with a different location, we might have a fair fighting chance, because you know as well as I do,
this
they're
is
not gonna
city
touch
owned
it.
land. This is
They're
city
not
owned
going
land.
to touch that pumping station. It's too
Yeah.
toxic and too
Yeah,
dangerous.
but this is city owned land, so something like
Well,
this is easier to take a hold of than to go into private and negotiate, what the rent is going to be.
unless you put the city on the mark and you make an issue out of it publicly, they're not going to do nothing.
Mhm. Okay, we have Fanya, raise your hand.
Yes. Again, hello. I'm new one to this committee, community board. And I'm listening and you say that it's very frustrating that I hear that we are requesting and nothing had been granted. Maybe we should, this is just one suggestion, maybe we should request less and push more for one or two and one thing at the time. For example, it's very nice to have a 13 million community center, but we know that that's not going to happen. But for example, this is my, I'm talking about my own pain, but the boardwalk, maybe we should just push for, or maybe something even more urgent than boardwalk, and stick with this and just try to follow up and try to show that we're interested. Because I've read this, I believe it's 43 or 44 points, and we are asking a lot of things. And of course, I don't know, unless someone gives us like $10 billion, or we're not gonna get it. So this is just my suggestion. Maybe we can ask for less and get something. But being very almost forceful, reminding them, following up with them, so they'll know that we're not like doing this. We type it, we send it, and we forget about this. Okay?
Okay.
Vanya, we never do that. No one ever does that. Everyone follows up everything we push. We've been doing this long time, and even though we really try, it just seems that money's not available, and then people are changed.
Unless you live in a different part of the city.
But we have to do what we have here. So,
But
we don't have
Vanya,
to-
we won't give up. We
No.
never give up. Never.
That's I'm very glad. But who decides this? I mean, you said who is telling you that they're
the
never,
final one
that-
is the mayor. The mayor is the one who gives the final okay for the budget to be passed. And if it's not in his budget, then it's not funded.
And I wonder how much
there-
this mayor really knows about what's going on down here in Coney Island.
Well,
Because I don't think anybody's
we're
told.
not taking opinions about that right now,
Yeah,
but
well, I'm
we-
giving
this
it
is on
anyway.
this.
Can
This is on this.
Can I ask you one question? I hear one and again that we're in the wrong part of the city, we're in the wrong zip code. Is there any way we can compare which community boards get a lot of money and why we're not getting at least what we really need? So we can come to the mayor and say, look, this community board got so much money and we need this, which is we desperately need. Maybe you can share something and let him to explain.
I think you comparing two community boards is just putting them up against each other is not right.
Well, you know what?
We
You
are
gotta
special.
stop
I got the
being
floor.
the
Thank you.
guy.
I got the floor. Thank you. We
No,
are
well, you're not
special
doing it
because
anyway.
we got the floor because right now we're special because we have an amusement area that is seasonal. So that everywhere else you look at is usually working 365 days. We have a special section here that is working with the amusement park that gives us limited jobs in the area, during the summertime, which is good. We're thankful for that. But right now, to do it year round, we don't have the year round jobs that we can give them, for those type of things.
I can find jobs for them if
Yes,
they
yes.
want. Okay.
Well, we gotta talk to Lakeisha. We gotta talk to Lakeisha with that.
Because it should stop finally.
Mhm.
Coney Island is not only amusement
Yes,
area.
yes, we
And
understand that.
people have to stop from mayor's office, from state senate, from president, whoever. People should put Coney Island be an amusement area only.
Mhm.
There are hundreds of thousands of people, they live there. We live there, okay? So we are not only amusement area with all my love to amusement area, and I believe it's amazing place.
Mhm.
But Coney Island is not only amusement area, it's a neighborhood residential area as well. And we have needs, and children have needs, and on and on and on. I can find them job all year round, no
Okay,
problem.
thank you. All right, Jeff?
Yes, the city council is also involved with the budget. I think the hearings begin in January. So, perhaps we should be talking to our councilmen and our councilwomen who represent our areas and push for, what we want in our district.
Mhm.
And not get involved with, one community getting involved with another community board.
Yeah.
Let's focus on our community board
Thank you.
and get our elected officials to come up with the solutions. That's
Yes.
why we elected them.
Okay, maybe for a future parks meeting, we will see if we can invite them all, including, of course, Marty Moore, and see if we can get them all here and just talk and about what, and I know the answer is going to be, Jeff. We know this. Everyone here knows about all this. Question is, we want action here. So if you want in the future, we could consider doing that, I guess, after
The election, after the election.
yeah, absolutely.
Most likely either not December, because in the probably in either January or February.
Yeah, that would be the best.
Yeah, because they're not as busy, so that would be.
And they're going to be in. We have to give them a new state senator, whoever it may be.
Yep.
We have to give them time to get adjusted.
Sure.
But having them here at our meeting is very important.
Yeah.
So in the future, I think that's a great idea. We've done it before. We could do it again.
So Dave Ivy, so just relay that back to Marty, so that in the future, not this year, but probably in 2023, early, like either January or February, when it's not as busy at the parks, we can get around group discussion.
Why are we waiting till February?
Because we waiting for the election to pass, and December
That's
is gonna
November.
be December is going to be busy with everybody going to be end of the year, and
so
January,
next year at
February
this
is going to be
time,
the beginning of next year.
at this time, we will be sitting here going
Thank you.
over the same thing because nothing's been
Because
done.
the elected officials are not going to be passing things again, but that's their problem.
But wait a minute, what upcoming election has to do with the city council?
Right. That's absolutely right.
We're going to talk to all of the elected officials.
Okay, Eddie, please. Okay, I'm quiet.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we're gonna wait until babies, when you think that Marty is ready and we can get the elected officials together. We can just
Christmas
discuss.
2035.
Thank you. Thank you for your input. So and
Well,
then we
somebody
can
has
go
to
from
put it.
there. So we can put it in together. Okay. All right, Lolita.
Just quick question. Are these our elected officials, the councilmen, are they copied on the our requests?
Yeah, they get everything that we get here. And after everything gets approved later on in October, they will see what our priorities are again. And they see that, all of this is listed, and whether they do something about it or not, that's up to them.
Understood.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna leave this here as number 6, so we can move on. All right. Okay. All right. So next one is on number 14, item number 14, which is here. Other capital budget requests for the Parks Department. This is basically something that's happening in the area. Operation Green Thumb on West 29th Street is in need of assistance. They reached out to us back then just to get, if they can, here? It says some storage, better fencing, lighting, water hose, I think it was a water fixture to water the plants. And of course, the OMB said they'll follow the agency position and they'll just see what is needed from the community board before making a funding decision. It's just an ongoing request from us to Parks Department on Operation Green Thumb land. So that's all that it is.
Okay.
All right. So the next one we have it's the next page, which is number 15. This is other request of parks building and access improvement. We want, of course, to construct bathrooms on the boardwalk on the west end of the peninsula, adding more drinking water and boardwalk showers. As you know, after Sandy or even before Sandy, the bathrooms on the west end of Coney Island were buried because of the nor'easter. And because of that, they had to have makeshift trailers to handle the flow on the west end. On West 21st Street, West 22nd Street, they had a new bathroom from the amphitheater, but that was the only new feature that came about. Everything else is still trailers on the west end, and it needs to be fixed. Davey, do you know how much a bathroom costs to fix or to get?
I'm not sure everybody on the call is going to like it, but the bathrooms that we're seeing right now, and we design them and then put them out to bid. The bids are coming in around $4 million for a new bathroom. I'm sure, once you add coastal or, building into a structure like the boardwalk or something along those lines, probably the price does not go down. So, yeah, I would say you're looking at a minimum, probably $4 million ask here.
Yeah.
I think additionally, it's important to note that the boardwalk in this section is going to be, there is a capital project out there that's in design at the moment to redo that area that was damaged, I think, between West 27th and West 25th.
Yes.
So, yeah.
We're looking forward to that one because that, if anyone knows, is a section that has plywood, and it's finally going to be addressed with the future project that's being worked on. I know that section is going to look better because right now it doesn't look good at all. Now, in that section, will it have any water features? I forget, because we haven't seen the plans yet. Any water features, meaning showers or fountains or bathroom?
Eddie, let me check that if you, when you send out minutes, I'll check to just double check that there's a spray, there's like a
Yeah, I mean,
wash
we
station.
just haven't seen anything yet for it, so
Yep.
we're just curious.
I know it does have new water service, so I
Okay.
just want to make sure that if those elements are in the design. So if you can just follow up with me.
Yep, we can
tomorrow.
definitely do that.
Yep.
All right, so this part we'll leave here because it's important that we need more bathrooms, drinking fountains, and showers on the boardwalk.
Agreed.
Oh, also, as you can see, it says supported by Mark Traeger and Hein Deutsch. That this was 2023 wish list, so this was done 2 years ago, which they happen to be in office. So now it will hopefully will be supported, I'm sure, by Councilman Kagan and Councilwoman Vertical, and we'll get their support for something like this too. And our next priority is number 16, which is right down below. This here says reconstruct or upgrade the park and amenity. And this one, of course, is Kites Park, where the handball courts are, and the circle behind Mark, next to Mark Twain Junior High School. This one, as you can see, it says the project has already been funded. So this one is, if we want to find out more detail, it has been funded this past year, so which is good. What we'll do is now that this number 16, Barbara Santonis, it's going to be crossed out, and we're going to put this as continued support because it doesn't have to take up space in this section here. So this one actually can be taken out. So thank you very much for the Parks Department for funding this year. And we're going to go down to the next one, which is number 17. This one is to this is a fun one. Construct a bikeway parallel to the entire beach length. Bike riders need a separate path aside from the boardwalk. Presently, they create dangers for pedestrian, businesses, and bathers. This can be used as a seawall, protecting the boardwalk and the community. So we were hoping that the Parks Department could build something like another bikeway that would be parallel to the boardwalk, that would be about 50 feet away. I think Marty had some ideas about this.
Yeah, 40 years ago.
No, this is more recently.
Yeah, right.
So we're hoping that with him in power now, because this was way spoken with Adele Cohen, if anyone has a memory of that. She put in money for a bike.
Like I said, 40 years ago.
With Adele Cohen putting back in back in 2000, she wanted to have a separate pathway there. The only problem was at that time, DEC couldn't agree with the Parks Department to letting them build something on there just for, I hate to say it, as a luxury item. But now that we can present this as a seawall with a purpose, a purpose of using a bikeway on top of it, might be able to be more desirable to build. This, of course, we can get hopefully FEMA with the Army Corps of Engineer on board too, to say that this is more of a resiliency project to protect the shoreline, and hopefully something like this can be done. If not from the parks, from DEC and from the federal government to help out with saying, well, if you're not going to protect the shoreline, use this and help us build something that can be built on the side. But so I have Michael raising his hand. Michael first.
They want to build this thing parallel to the boardwalk. How are you going to access to the beach?
You walk across.
Okay,
No, there'll be a section. I'm sure.
The same problem that they have now.
No.
I'm
sure there'll be a section on the bikeway that we will say they have to
I am
dismount,
so fed up with
dismount in this area for the for the pedestrian to walk during the beaches. So we can have them walk across a section where all bikers have to dismount and let the pedestrian walk across too. So, but that, like I said, that in itself is details that I don't have right now. So something like that.
Never will.
Okay, but like I said, I don't have the details, and the Parks Department is trying to see about getting something like this done, so we can hear from what they have too. All right, Jeff, you're next.
Yes, you can't put the bike path on the sand because it goes against the Coastal Erosion Hazard Act, okay? Area, and they lift up it's gonna lift up, okay? And that's why they have to take off the Moby mats at the end of the season. So it's a safety issue too. So that's not gonna happen.
Okay, but like I said, if it's a safety seawall dune, then is it purpose of it, can it be built if it's used as a seawall?
No, you can't put a concrete on.
Not
on the
concrete.
sand.
Like I said, I'm
That's
not the engineer here, so I'm not going to, say what it's going to be made of, because I don't know what's going to be made of. All right,
That's why the Moby mats are only temporary.
but that's a temporary measure versus something that can be used elsewise. But like I said, that's letting them know that this is how something like this can be done. Dennis?
I'm just confused on how a bicycle path can be used as a seawall.
Oh, no, it would be raised up. The whole thing is to raise it up higher than than the actual the actual ground of the sand, which is, let's say the sand right now is at 10 feet. It will be raised up a little higher so that the bike path can be put on there, and then it will protect the other part.
Then Eddie, pardon my ignorance, but then how is the guys going to clean this? How are they going to clean the beach?
Like I
at the
said,
end of the day?
I'm not worried about that. If the park is interested in looking into this, then I'm letting them do the details. I'm sure they can probably have a station where they can have the cleaners parked in that vicinity, and then have another section where they can park on the outside and clean it on the other side. Like I said, I wouldn't
Okay.
even know how something like this would be done, but if you have something like this could be made possible, then you know what, we'll let them tell us this can be done or not.
Eddie, if the bike path is raised a couple of feet, it's also going to be a hazard by the storm surge. Don't people realize that?
Well, it's a seawall. Remember, this is a
projectile?
seawall. If this is a seawall that's going to protect you, so it will give you that protection. It's not to be a surge, to be, with the wave action to be pushed to the boardwalk. No, this is a seawall function. Okay, it doesn't say that it's going to, is going to be a dual purpose of this. So something like this, you don't ask, and you see other places that has it. Why can't we have something like this? Yes, we're very congested with people on the beachgoers. Yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, other places can do it, and how do they do it? We have to look and see how other communities or shorefront communities work with something like that.
I mean, we can't even get lifeguards during the summer.
Like I said, that's
Parks.
even another story in itself.
Oh, I'm telling you, right?
Like I said, that is another
So they're
story.
going to
in
build a
itself.
bike path and not have any lifeguards.
Like I
That's a
said,
great.
I'm
That's
not
great.
going into that part right now, but yes, that's but we're not waiting 2 years for the lifeguard to be funded. So, all right, Fanya?
Yes, I can't imagine how this bicycle way would work. If I want to go to the water, how can I access to the beach? First thing, the second thing, I imagine that they have so much money to do this and not to fix the pavement, boardwalk for pedestrians.
This is a wish list. This is a wish list.
Vanichka, dear, they don't have money to do anything,
Yeah.
so just
Yeah, this is wish list. This is not anything set in stone that they're going to do. This is what we're asking the parks department to do.
Technically, I can see, along the road, but you can't, you don't have to go across the road unless I don't know. Well, if you want to put it, that's fine. If it's a wish list.
Yeah, it's a wish list. That's all. And like I said, something like this, down the line, we'll find out if there's other methods or other ways of doing it, and we can find out. But like I said, I'm not going to, say no to something that if it could be possibly done, then that can be done. Okay, but like I said, this is all a wish list. Don't feel that this is going to go in 2 years from now. No, the city council has to pass it, and then the mayor has to pass this also. So and knowing them, they're cutting back again on budget, so we don't know how far this is going to last. All right, all right. So just moving right along, our next one that we have is number 23, which is, this is just simple. Reconstruct and upgrade the park, a park or amenity, which is.
Excuse me, Eddie, I know you want to ignore me, but I had my hand up and I had a question for Barbara.
We didn't see the hand up.
Yeah, well, my hand was up, very much so.
Okay.
And on that last item,
Yes.
do we have to vote? Do we have a choice on whether we want that in or not? Because I think it's ludicrous and I vote no.
It's fine, but all this, you can pick everything out if you want to. Okay. And you can see how everybody else reacts to it. If you want it out, that's fine by me. It's nothing off of mine.
Because after 30 years and Marty Marr going nowhere with it, I think it's ludicrous.
Excuse me, Marty, excuse me, but Marty Marr just became the borough commissioner.
Listen, Eddie, I'm not going to.
He just became the borough commissioner, and I give him faith in what he can do. You want to go into
a debate with me?
I'm saying.
I'm telling you.
I'm just saying.
Well,
guys, stop yelling. Please stop yelling.
Thank you.
All right. Wait. Listen to me, Joe. If you want to vote on that issue to keep it or not, that number, then let's call for the vote. And who wants to keep it and who doesn't? All right.
All right.
Okay.
Hold on. Jeff, before.
I just want to point out that in Rockaway and in Staten Island, they have bike paths, designated bike paths, and they still use the boardwalk anyway. But besides that, we need enforcement on the boardwalk for the bikers and the motorcycles and the electric bikes and electric scooters. We don't have any of that. So who's going to regulate all this? Yes. Who's going to enforce this?
And like I said,
they have money for that, but not for PEP offices, right?
Okay, as you know, all of this is a wish list. If you don't want to put it on there, we can take it out. But I'm just letting you know that this is only a wish list. Nothing more, nothing less.
So, Joe, what number, tell them again, would you like removed?
I don't care where you move it, but don't put it at the top because it's
not the top, it's number 17.
What?
It's number 17.
I don't care, you can put it number 50. It shouldn't be there in the first place.
Joe, you want to make a motion to vote? What do you want that to be? A motion to remove number 17 completely?
That's my motion. Yeah.
Okay. I need a second on that motion. Is there anyone seconding that? I can't see Eddie. Let me know.
I don't see anyone. And you can unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself if you want to.
I'll second it. Let's take the vote.
Okay. So please, Barbara, please read what we're voting on in this meeting to take away what number. Please
Number
just
17.
read it.
We're going to remove number 17 from the capital requests. And 17 says, other requests for park building or access improvements. And it's construct a bikeway parallel to the entire beach length. Bike riders need a separate path for a side from the boardwalk. Presently, they create dangers for pedestrians, businesses, bathers, etc. This can also be used as a seawall, protecting the boardwalk and the community. The motion was made by Joanne, seconded by Jeff, to remove that totally from the requests.
Hannah, if
Okay.
you could, when we vote, you call out the names of the committee members and then anyone else from the community board make it a separate thing who is interested in voting. only the community board though, but first give me only the members of the committee, okay,
Okay.
Hannah?
Okay, Madam Chair.
Okay,
Yes,
Thank you.
wait. Before you begin,
okay.
I just want to see if Davey has any insight in this or not.
Sure, yeah, I'm happy to, I don't want to influence the vote one way or another, but I think Eddie, you're correct that, it's a wish list. It's a possibility. We know that bikes on the boardwalk is a big issue. And this request is partially responding to bikes on the boardwalk. It's also responding to resiliency issues that would protect the boardwalk in its current state. I know that there would be a lot of permitting with regards to DEC and other environmental aspects to it. But it's a proposal to continue, to try to get bikers, their own space off of the boardwalk so that the boardwalk becomes a space where people can enjoy. So it is. Yes, Joe.
All right, I just have to, you're saying a separate, off the boardwalk, but it's gonna be adjacent to the boardwalk. And in order for the people to walk onto the beach, they're gonna have to walk across this bike lane. Am I right?
That's absolutely correct. And
Thank
all
you.
the
So
vehicle, and if you could let me finish, Joe, you asked me a question, I just want to respond. All of the transitions across it would have to be designed and figured out. It would be studied. It would go through the whole rigorous process. Additionally, all the vehicles that service the beach, whether they're the beach rakes or emergency vehicles, those connections would have to be made as well. There are a lot of operations that happen at the waterfront. So all those things would be studied. I don't think it's none of those details have been worked out yet. That would happen during the design process.
Davey, would they be, would this bike path be subject to the same hours that bike riding would be allowed as the boardwalk?
I think that would be up for, the committee and the community to decide. I think they could be flexible. They could be set whenever. So
Okay.
that would probably be part of the community input if this were to get funded and proceed through capital.
Are there any other comments before Hannah calls the roll? Okay, Hannah, only the committee members first, then anyone on the community board who's not, just to get a consensus from them.
Okay, I'll call all their names as well. Thank you, Madam Chair. Susan Flashenberg,
I agree with Joanne.
So she votes no.
I vote no, yes.
Excuse me,
no, I'm sorry, one second.
wait,
You're
am I just
voting to
voting-
remove number 17,
no,
correct?
so that you vote yes.
I vote yes.
Okay, Susan Flashenberg, yes, thank you. Barbara Titlebaum,
No,
Jeffrey Sanoff,
Yes.
Dennis Verderis,
I vote no.
Joanne Weiss,
Yes.
okay, I have to tell you, so it's 3 yeses and 2 nos.
and we have quorum?
Yes, we have 5 out of the 8. So it is 3 yes, 2 no, which means the yes have it.
Okay,
Okay, and now I'm gonna call the other people.
just to get a consensus, because
Sure.
this now, we have to bring to the whole board as a motion to remove it or not.
Okay,
So that's what we'll do, but go ahead, please continue, just to get a consensus.
okay, Fania Vasilevsky,
Undecided.
okay, I'm just, all right.
Abstain.
Lolita Divilova, is Lolita still here?
I would say we should remove it. I don't see it work.
Okay, so you're saying yes for the removal?
Yes, but I'm not a member of the committee. I just.
No,
want
I
you to
know. Madam Chair, Barbara would like to just get a consensus, so I'm just.
I
so
would
you
say
yes?
yes, we should remove it.
Okay, yes for the removal. Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Michael Russo? Is Michael still here? Okay, I'll come back to Michael. Yelena
I'm here, I'm
Mackin?
sorry.
Oh, sorry, Michael. Hello, good evening.
No, I had you on mute.
That's-
What do you call it? I vote no. I want to keep
Okay.
it.
Okay, thank you. Yelena Mackin?
Yes, to remove it.
Yes, sir. Okay. Mark Mernick?
Oh, no, Mark's not on the board.
No, Barbara would like the community people as well. Am I correct on that?
No,
or-
no,
No,
Barbara?
only the
Board.
community
Oh,
board can
community
vote.
board members. I apologize. Okay.
I don't
No
think I can
problem.
vote. I don't think I can vote.
No, Nodra? Okay, I'll come back to Tatiana Siegel.
Abstain.
Ronald Greenberg. Ron, you there? Okay, I'll come back to Ron. Nodra, are you there?
And you have Amaryllis too.
Yes, I'm getting to her. Okay, hi, Amaryllis.
Hello, how's everyone?
Good, good, thank you. What is your vote
I
on
say
this?
yes.
Yes,
say
to
yes.
remove. Okay, thank you, Amaryllis.
You're welcome.
Okay, let's come back to Ronald Greenberg.
He's not responding.
Ron, you there? Okay. Nodra, are you there?
No. And Tatiana.
Tatiana Siegel already voted. She abstained.
Okay.
All right, I have just Ronald Greenberg and Nodra that I would like to get a.
Well, you're gonna have to have some.
That's okay.
Nodra, you there?
No.
Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring this motion as voted on by the committee to the board for, to see if they are interested in removing it or not. So the motion's made. Numbers should vote to remove number 17 from the wish list.
Okay.
Okay, all right, Eddie, please continue.
Okay. All right. So number 23 is next one, which is reconstructing the upgrading the playground or amenity, which is of course reconstructing Luna Park playground. As you can see, it's recommended to be in the budget. So this we can put as continued support. Barbara Santonis. 23 is continued support now. We're going to erase this part and put it in as continued support because it is recommended to be done. Okay. All right. So the next one is Astor Park. Over here it says we would like this is to provide new or expand play park or amenity. We would like to put some type of recreational activity in lieu of the band show at Astor Park. So
Hold on, wait a minute. Eddie, is being done. It's being funded 3 or 4 years ago.
Yeah.
Work is going on.
Okay,
So
no,
why?
it says it on the side. It does say it here on the side. It says recommended that it be requested to,
But
and
it was funded by Councilman Deutsch 4 years ago. The first stage is completed. The second stage is going on. Why do we keep something?
This is the part with the band show. The band show part.
Right.
No, I understand the part with the senior section and the part where they're doing. Yes, that is done. This part is asking to remove the band show itself.
So can
Yeah.
it be rewritten?
Huh?
At least, because it doesn't look right.
But it
You're
says-
asking for something that was funded already
No,
and work is going on. So it should be rewritten.
Okay, well, okay, we'll rewrite it, but it's basically saying we would like to remove the band shell and put something recreational in its place. Okay.
Okay, thanks, Eddie, for
Okay,
doing
no,
that.
but
Okay.
but
All right, Elena, we're going to rewrite it to say remove bento in and to put in. How's that?
Absolutely,
Yeah,
absolutely.
understood.
We,
No.
we would look we would look nicer, you know, I mean.
Okay, no
Yeah.
problem. Thank you,
Okay.
Eddie.
All right,
Please
then
continue.
number 27 is we provide a new or expanded park amenity, which of course in SLB Park is to have a dog run. This needs to be brought before the elected official. We still have requests of people asking for the dog run, but it's still not in there yet. So so we'll just put it here still, okay? Next is number 28. It's a cultural, well, this is nice. We need a cultural facility and resource request. There's a lack of cultural facility in the area. We need to give communities choices other than sports facility. We need a performing arts facility that will attract Southern Brooklyn people to the area. And you know, we need another cultural area that can hold this, but we don't know where. Okay, but it's a wish list. Okay. All right, so the next one is number 32. Here it says improve access to park or amenity. Sufficient funds are requested to improve access to Coney Island, Brighton Beach beaches by enhancing the security and safe swim zone through the design and installation of some sort of permanent demarcation system that would include a combination of safety advisory signage, high visibility buoys, etc., with the intention of cordoning off the safe swim zones in separate swimmers from jet skiers and other maritime traffic. Basically, this came about when, as you know, jet skiers have the nerve to come more than 500 feet to the beaches, and they are not stopped because they feel that they can park on the beach. So there needs to be some marking out there letting them know that they are beyond or they're too close to the shoreline and should not be there. So this is just asking the parks to get something out there. And of course, the response is this is not recommended for funding, but it's still needed because as you know and I know, we see the jet skiers getting closer and closer to the shoreline. And there's nothing out there for them to say, they're gonna play dumb and say, there's nothing out there. I didn't know we were that close. And you know what? When you're on the beach, it's too late, you know? So
Eddie?
Yes.
In order to operate a jet ski in the city of New York,
yes,
you need to take a course,
mm-hmm.
and a very important aspect of that course
sure.
requires all jet skiers to stay at least 500 feet from the shoreline.
Sure.
And so they know already they're not supposed to go near the shoreline.
Yes, the people who are who own jet skis know that. The people
Yes.
who are renting it don't know that. The renters are the ones who are the bad players that come around from Gravesend area and then oh, there's a beach here, and then you know what? They come and park themselves on there. Something like this is just needed.
Yeah, but don't the rental agencies give them a little
they give them a
5-minute
pamphlet
course
and everything like that. But when they see their friends out there or they see attractive girl, they want to go closer. Guess what? They
really?
Yeah, they do it. But we need some demarcation to show that this is the 500 boundary feet right from the shoreline, so that they know that they can't proceed further. But,
hey, maybe Joanne Weiss remembers this. I distinctly remember there was rope.
Yes, oh, you're the one that does that.
With little floaties.
Yes, it went straight across from Stillwell. It went straight across, and nobody remembers that. And I'm
Dennis,
like,
is you saying I'm old?
I remember that as a kid.
I'm not implying anything.
So
I know you have a good memory.
You got out of that one pretty well, babes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so we got Michael here. Raise his hand, Michael.
Eddie, sorry, like Dennis just said, even the people who are renting the jet skis,
Sure.
You need a personal watercraft
Oh, yeah.
permit. You just can't rent a jet ski
Sure.
without a personal watercraft. So they have to know the rules of the road. It's like
Sure.
driving a car.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question? Because I really don't know. If you're gonna rent a car, you have to show a license. Don't
Right.
you have to show anything to rent a jet ski? It's
I'm-
like a
I'm
car
not
on
sure.
water.
I don't know.
I don't know. I've never rented one. Sorry.
Yeah, neither have I.
I'm gonna check into that.
Well, rent one and come along the ocean side and we can see you. So
Don't get too close.
again, don't get too close. Okay. So but something like this is needed. I think it's just more for safety reason. It's hard to get New York Harbor down here to watch us because we do people do call 311 to get them down here, but by the time they do, it's too late. So we need something more proactive than reactive.
Yeah, when there's lifeguards on duty though, they blow the whistle for the
Yeah.
jet ski.
Oh yeah.
Get-
No. It's more like after hours. They come
Yeah.
to the shoreline and you see them and they're like, no one's here. And you know what? They don't care. And I'm like, yeah, but there's still kids in the water. So, but it is an important feature that still needs to be addressed, and I think definitely should be still in there. All right. So just looking down below, it's number 33. We have a request. Yeah. Oh, this is something new that came in last year, where we wanted to see if Bay 1, if anyone knows where Bay 1 is, it's at the very end of Bay 15th Street, Brighton 15th Street, and it's I guess maintenance building that used to be above ground is now below ground, and we wanted to see if it could be renovated or be used for other types of resources from the Parks Department. I don't know, Davies, if that was even considered.
Thanks, Eddie. Yeah, I think this structure is just unused. I think it used to be at the level of the beach, and then
Sure.
over time sand has accumulated. So I think we'd probably run into similar kind of Department of Environmental Conservation issues, but I think the fact that there's a structure already there, we could probably work on something.
Sure.
I think we would be open to some sort of fitness area, some sort of, whatever people are, the community would be interested in. It definitely needs to be repurposed.
Yeah.
It doesn't really serve much use to us anymore.
There was a pitch one time long ago that we wanted to see if it could become something like a museum, and it would be like if Coney Island had Coney Island Museum, Brighton Beach should have a Brighton Beach Museum, and it would be on the beach and be run by the Parks Department. But that's something long thought ago.
Eddie, what kind of museum on the beach?
Brighton
Come
Beach.
on.
It said Brighton Beach. It didn't say immigrant.
No, come on.
They have other things.
I
It's
have
Brighton Beach.
older story. Years ago, Park Department decided to issue RFP for a restaurant. It
Yeah,
was
no.
2003.
Got
But
it.
if you read an RFP, so
Sure.
I decided to go and look who's gonna come and
Horrible.
look for the venue. It
Yeah.
was 3 people, 2 people from Park Department and myself. So
No, but definitely something like that. It hopefully the parks will listen.
should be recreational area,
Sure,
some sport for
definitely.
community. What museum?
Sure.
Come on.
But it's that was the last of this capital part. As you know, we have some continued support, which is number this one, but this one. Oh, okay. This one is continued support. The reconstruction or upgrade of a building in the park. They need to reconstruct the maintenance building on West 25th Street. We do know that this is a part of the budget, so this is, as they say, continued support, and we do support you guys and getting that building done. So that part is this. So we just finished the capital part. Now we're going to, I hate to say it, expense part. Anything that is not physically structured is an expense. It's more of a program or something that it's not structured. It's a program and something that is needed at cost to run it. running the, what do you call it, running the agency. So we have the first one here for the parks, as you can see, this is transportation, so you guys are ready for that next week. But we have for the parks is number 6. We need park maintenance and safety requests. Just an additional operation resources needed to increasing demand for maintaining the boardwalk and Bright Beach to be in good condition. Basically, we're asking for your park maintenance to be up and going to continue to keep the boardwalk safe. And of course, it says due to the funds insufficient for this project, we recommend to bring this to the local elected officials. But basically, we're gonna leave this here because this is needed for park maintenance or to get it done correctly. So I'm going to continue on this. Actually, what's interesting about the parks is not many expense is used in this part. So the next one is number 46. Yeah, so all this is passed. Some of the other good ones in the other committees, but we're on number 46. So it says to improve trash removal and cleanliness, we need to have the Parks Department to partner with, oh, this is fun, DSNY to extend the recycling collection option to include the recommend boardwalk using smaller collection equipment that would not damage the boardwalk. Basically, they wanted to see if the parks can also recycle on the beach / boardwalk. They do it in the parks. Very good that, people, know where to put the trash, glass, and garbage. But there's nothing like that on the boardwalk or on the beach. So we know it's a hard thing to do, but we would like them to somehow get people to be environmental conscious about throwing things away. So this is in here to remind the Parks Department that they can't throw one garbage into one garbage container. So this part is here at this time. All right. Any questions to this?
Yeah, Eddie, I have a question on it.
Got
Yeah, in other beachside resorts, and there are several recycle bins next to garbage cans. It's a good idea. I think we should definitely ask for that. And just going back to number 6, I'm just thinking, what would number 6 apply to increasing the funding for more PEP officers to improve
No,
security?
basically that is just for maintenance. It's for maintenance. Part
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The PEP officer in itself, they don't really ask for it in here at all. But if it does, we can flag it and put it in there.
Eddie, can we ask for it? Can we add? Can we ask for more funding for PEP officers?
Yeah, I'm sure
We can add this line since
I
we're
got it.
asking for some funds.
Yeah, I mean, I would appreciate that because after what went on this summer with
Yeah,
all the
no,
legal
understood.
pending,
All right, so Barbara, in number 6, if we can put somewhere in there to also to increase the PEP officers, what do you call
funding.
Thank you. Okay, it does ask for
Increase funding
for
PEP
PEP
officers.
Parks enforcement personnel.
Yeah,
Maybe they can give them overtime. They did great towards the end of the season.
Yeah.
They were out from 10 to 6. Fantastic.
Great.
As soon as 6:30 rolled around, it
Yeah,
was
forget it.
open season.
Yeah.
So if they can increase the funding either through overtime or hire more officers, I think it would be very helpful.
Great.
Thank
I
you.
agree with Dennis. We've had pet problems for a very long time here. This is not just from today.
Yeah.
So then we also have number 46 with trash. Then number 47 is other park maintenance and safety request. We'd like to, see, this is for the carpenters, as you see, that they're backlogged and we need to have more carpenters. And they said that the aside from funding only will allow the increase for it. Okay, so it is in there for the carpenters part. to fix the boardwalk. Okay. All right. All right. So this is the end of our section for the capital and expense budget. My question, let me just bring this down. Don't need to see all of this. Stop share. Okay. All right. So so is there anything that we have forgotten or might have misplaced in putting in this year's wish list? We are going to put the EIS for the boardwalk, which I'm happy to do. And we're going to put in the PEP officers for additional for the safety and park maintenance. We'll stretch it, but we'll put it in there. Is there anything else that needs to be addressed that hasn't been said? All right. Okay. Now, I know we have some new, Fania? Okay.
Yes, this is, I'm sorry, this is of the subject. I just got a message from Boris Pinkus. He really wanted to participate tonight, but he just got home. So he was not at, from work. They have like, he worked at, election time and he was very busy.
Let him know that this is recorded and he can see this on Facebook. And if he needs a link, we can send him the link of what we spoke about. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Lolita.
I'm not really sure if it's well, it's ongoing. I think it should be. You usually say that we're not including something that is current, but I don't think this problem will be resolved in any future years. Is there any way to put a sentence on measures to something like to put the effective measures to get rid of the rats in our area? Because,
Okay. That's not in the Parks Department. Well, I mean, we'll mention.
You think it's DEP or like environmental protection?
No. That is with the health department. But if it's on parkland, Davies is here. We can just mention to him that we're not waiting 2 years to get rid of the rats, so we can tell him which location it is. So that
no. You didn't. That's what I said in the beginning. I said the caveat is that it's not that we're waiting for this for 2 years. But is there anything that could be done on a long term to alleviate this issue once and for all? That's what I'm trying to say. I don't know what it could be.
I think it's ongoing right now. I mean, Parks always has a rat abatement program within the park. It's just if there's an unusual high amount, then notify us and the parks so that 311.
No, that I understand, and I'm doing all that. Just saying, is there any like a long-term program, not just rat abatement that they do just once in a while, but something that is okay? I guess I have to speak to you offline on that. I thought that's something that could be done.
I'm happy to jump in here if that's all right, Eddie.
Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, rats have been a huge problem since the pandemic and prior to it. I think there's no silver bullet, unfortunately, that gets rid of all the rats in New York City. If there was, we would love to know what that is. But I think that the main thing that rats need is a food source, and I think our garbage ends up becoming perfect food source for the rats. So how parks can help address it. So we only have one exterminator throughout the whole borough. So
wow.
We're kind of limited. Yeah.
One carpenter, one exterminator. It's like,
well,
yep.
That goes for pet officers.
Guys, if you can just let me finish, please, okay? So aside from our exterminator, the only thing that we can do is get this trash bagged and out of the site as quickly as possible. Things that help with that are more staff to help remove trash, and then more vehicles, to help pick up the trash. Right now we only have one crew, so that, we only do garbage pickup once a day. So that means that garbage sits for a while next to garbage cans and is a food source. So, in particularly problem areas, we will try to address it more than once a day, but it's just something that we can't get to with the current staff. and the current number of vehicles, mainly garbage packers that we have. So when you're thinking about expense asks, this is one thing that can be tagged in your expense asks, is that you're looking for more staff to help address rat issues, more vehicles. Both we are subject to staff and vehicle headcounts, or I guess not vehicle headcounts, but we have a cap on the number of vehicles that the parks as an agency is allowed to have. So by having those vehicles, we're not able to add more. And so we run into situations where packers go out of service, then, garbage collection slows down, and kind of the rats are able to get a little bit more ground in that battle between us. So I hope that helps illustrate some of the issues. Sorry for talking so long.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that in that respect, if it's possible to add the same as we asking for extra carpenter, could we just ask for extra exterminator? And that would be a capital expense, I guess, his salary. And also maybe new research on methods to alleviate this issue.
I would also maybe coach you to kind of do it as a package to address rats, because it's not just exterminators, it's also maintenance workers, and it's also vehicles, as I mentioned. Our exterminators are kind of limited in terms of what types of rat traps or methods they can use. We don't use poisonous rat poisons because obviously you're putting it in public space. The rats get eaten by other animals like birds and ospreys, and that has other impacts in the food chain. We go through extensive measures to try to collapse burrows where we can. We've used dry ice because it's a way to kind of address rats without endangering other species.
Okay, so we can put that in number 46, Barbara. So, which is dealing with cleanliness. So we can stretch it.
I'll
with the
work the wording up and add it into 46.
Jeff?
Yeah, just interested, Mr. Ives, where the garbage is taken. Is it taken to the Southwest Marine Transfer, or is it other areas?
I'm not exactly sure for District 13. I could try to find that out. I know that some of it comes to our yard at West 25th Street when we don't have packers available. So it's just a way for us to quickly get things off the boardwalk. But I'm not sure exactly where it goes from there. I can find out if you like.
Okay. All right. So, all right, if there's no other new items here for this part, we're going to bring this to the full board to hear any more from the public for a public hearing on end of September, and then in October, we'll vote this as a completed budget and expense for the capital expense for 2024. Now, we have a new item. Go ahead, Barbara, this is your turn.
So first we'll ask, is there any old business that would like to be discussed? Concerning rats, I would like to say, these are four-legged rats, not the two-legged rats who walk around this world, just to make that clear. Okay, so if there's no old business, I could see not everybody's hand, but okay, we'd like to talk about new business. Something did come in concerning request for bids for the operation of concessions for the sale of food from mobile food units at Riggleman Boardwalk, Coney Island Beach in Brooklyn. So it just came into my inbox. So we will take this up at the next meeting, but we have discussed this before. And this is, I'll just tell you the places that they're requesting a request for proposals for the park mobile food unit types. West 32nd Street, West 19th Street, West 8th Street. Oh, thank you, Eddie. And Brighton 15th Street. So this is what this is all about. We will be taking it up at the next meeting. Are there any other questions or concerns before we end?
One thing Marty actually called up for, if he requested to see if with Scaringella Park being renovated right now, is to rename the park to its official name, which is the Police Officer John G. Scaringella. back in the 90s, Commissioner Stern took off all of the what do you call it, titles from parks. So all the people who saw just the last name didn't really understand who it was. Since this was a fallen police officer, he felt that this should be put back in to the name of the park. So if you want to vote for,
Yes, we can take a vote of the committee just on
Sure.
this issue, but first I'd like any discussion on this issue.
oh yeah, sure. Yelena has a hand up.
1 minute,
No,
take this off the
I don't have a
screen.
discussion on this issue. I'm just asking every committee member and board members to look at this RFP. Actually, I'm the one who asked this issue to be brought up because there are more locations. Some locations, in my point of view, are very questionable. There is also different types of cars, which is also kind of strange, especially in today's meeting. And we are talking about boardwalk being in bad condition to bring processing carts that are very heavy. And I really appreciate it would be brought up in the next meeting. And with your permission, Madam Chairs, I would attend and say what I have in mind.
We always love everyone coming and speaking their mind, whether you're on this committee or not. So absolutely. Eddie, you will be sending this information out to all board members.
There's
And then
also a comment
sorry.
period. There's a comment period for this. Is October the 14th. So we'll have this meeting before the 14th, so that people can have questions and we can put in our comments from our point of view.
Okay, so Susan and I will get together with you and find a date that's good before this happens.
You got it.
All right, so please just keep this in your minds and we'll discuss it the next meeting. Very good. Eddie, you could remove the screen now.
Yes.
Okay, so is there any other new business?
Scarangelo?
Oh, yes, sorry. Okay, sorry. So how do people feel from the committee about naming its full name back? I'd like comments.
I agree.
Okay, right. Joanne, I think you're trying to. And Jeff? I can't hear you, Jeff.
Absolutely do it.
Okay, all right.
Yes, absolutely. Shouldn't have been taken off in the first place.
Well, Commissioner Stern did that back in the 90s.
Yeah, well.
And now we have a chance to put it back since it's being renovated. And I think it will be a nice touch to recognize him as the full title.
I think that's really important because it was named for him.
Yeah.
And he was a police officer, and I think it's really a great idea. If there's a motion, let me hear the motion, and then we will vote on the motion.
All right.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. All
I
right.
will second it.
Okay. All right.
Oh, sorry, who was that? Who seconded it? It was,
Okay.
Susan.
Hannah, just take the role of the committee at this one.
Yes.
Okay. Susan Flashenberg,
Yes.
Barbara Titlebaum,
Absolutely.
Jeff Stanoff,
Yes.
Dennis Verderis,
Yes.
and Joanne Weiss.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So we
Unanimous.
will bring that everyone who is on this committee voted in favor of having this done, and we will have discussion at the board if required. Is there any other new business that'd like to be brought before the board?
No.
Sue, you want to close our meeting?
Okay, with that, unless anyone has anything to add related to what has been presented this evening, I propose that we close the meeting now. Do I need to make a motion?
Right.
Oh,
Yes.
Yeah, okay, I make a motion to close the meeting and call it a night.
I'll second that.
Second it. All right, guys. Thank you very much.
Okay,
And
bye-bye.
Good night. Thank you.
thank you.
Oh, wait a minute. Anyone not in favor?
No.
Okay, just checking. All right, good night all.
Thanks,
Good night.
everybody.
Thank you, Davey. All right, have a good night, all.